Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Baz and this is WELDERFABBER. And for the viewers that may not know, Reedy, the main man, and HARDOX. How are you doing? My little baby brother. No more of them pictures please, director. Yeah. So, we're going to do a standalone episode here now on the next bucket build, WF002. This is a 50-ton Riddle bucket for a HX480 Hyundai. We're just doing a little bit of a mock-up on the bench here now, just to make sure everything is profiled correctly to our drawings.
Why are they in separate pieces then, Baz?
Well,
would that not have all been one piece?
I didn't want them in separate pieces, I'll be honest with you, but the nest inside of it, to get them profiled, right?
For wastage, is it?
Yeah, for the wastage in the nesting. So for all that there, I'm going to put it out there now, all that material there is £13,000. It's all about, again, with the customer, how much do you want to pay? To get them profiled in one piece, that bumped the price up to £18,000, right? To get them in one piece. Now then really, in my eyes, they could have been nested in one piece, this piece here, and that could have been nested in one piece. Yeah, and then they could have interlocked them all. So I don't know why it's in four like that, but it is what it is. I'm going to prep these. So then we've got like the back beams, back bars, 1, 2, 3, which are these here. So it all interlocks. So it's a really good, strong design. Either way you look at it, it's super strong. Yeah. Especially with the HARDOX 400, 500, whatever we've got, 450.
That must have been some press, to bend them.
Oh, there'll be some press to bend them, yeah. Serious press. So this machine is Andy Wallace's and we're doing it for HES Enterprises Hyundai dealer. So it is going to be a demolition spec Riddle bucket. So basically he wants to rip out with it as well. Rip out with it, Riddle into a crusher. Yeah, so that's why we're making it super strong and that's why the material really is so expensive. So there's a lot of prep work to do now. Day one, a lot of prep work. Now then, when we get to the hangers, these are your bosses that go to your pin, right? Even these need prepping. So if you look at the drawing, I'm going to prep, we're going to weld the pins in to the hangers, and then each one of them bosses is going to have a prep on it and butt up to that weld. So we're getting hold of it, double hold of it through the welding side of it. Whereas we're not just going to slide the boss on and weld around it, we're going to weld the pin before we slide the boss on. And every piece of this, before it gets welded, will be preheated. I mean, really, people ask about preheat, and preheat's merely to prevent cracking future down the road, yeah? It takes all the moisture out of the material and it just stops it from cracking, doesn't it? Especially HARDOX. If you don't preheat, basically you'll get micro cracks, which in future, further down the line, maybe a couple of years down the line, will turn into bigger cracks. So I think what we'll do, we'll put a side together. As you can see, we've got a side just sat there at the moment, just mocking it up, making sure everything's right. We could actually tack this side together, prep that plate before it goes to that, prep it before it goes to the nose, and then we're going to get a good multi-fillet on there. Yeah, whereas this one's more like a butt weld on the back side. So we want to prep on the back side of this plate and leave that plate, but we'll leave a 3mm gap. Yeah? So let that, basically we're doing a butt weld on the back side and a fillet weld on this side. So, I've got my main man in Reedy. Cal's actually out on site today. Yeah? Look at him, main mom. We got full-time Frankie. Frankie's going to start on the edge, and we got Dean. So Dean's going to start the prepping. Reedy's going to start putting it together. Are you going to start putting the side together, Reedy?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes.
Frank, I've gone through that with you, where them adapters want to go on that edge. Now then, I'm thinking we might as well just weld these adapters on. Get them hooked on, welded on, so we're not messing about turning it welded. I think it'll be a lot easier to weld them. I mean, people might think, oh, you'll bend the edge. Well, we did a video a few weeks ago, didn't we? On a 50mm edge, how to keep an edge straight. Put a link in the description, director, of that video. Because as you put a lot of heat in this side of this edge, that edge is going to want to start to bend very slightly. Yeah? So then you basically got to keep turning it and keep the heat. All about heat transfer. If you don't know, go back to that video. Are we ready? Yeah? Oh, and we've also got the, I don't know who that man is there, but it says director on the back of his overalls. Do you know what he's done?
Them overalls are brand new.
I don't know. I don't know if he's done a day's work in his life. I'm not sure.
Oh, he's hiding. He's behind the screen.
Here he is, AR director. There's your camera. So we put a little bit of heat in there, down, put the gun on it. We're not even 100 yet. So it'll take about 10 minutes to heat this edge up. Right, over to you. So it's looking like Steve's got the side tacked together now.
Yeah, all nice and flat.
So that's all flush. Prep, prep, prep. Anywhere that's materials butting up to each other, it's all prep. Like these are butting up. Prep, prep, prep. Yeah, just like good old days, Steve.
Just like the good old days. Just a few minor adjustments.
Yeah.
That wants 3mm taking off.
Yeah.
Flush with this part. All this down here wants prepping.
Yeah, because this piece it actually is welded to that, isn't it?
Yeah,
this piece. So we'll prep it on the back side again. So your weld is going in to the material, not sitting on top of it. What's that old saying my dad used to say?
Old saying he used to say, I am ace, I am good, I work in metal, not in wood.
That's it.
And I've never forgot it.
Yeah, we're working metal, not in wood. I hate working with wood. Anything to do with steel, not a problem. Timber, keep me out of it. Right. Sound. Good, that's Steve. So our Cal's backing off site. We're well on with the edge now. Frank's not far off, well, finished welding the edge. Now then, when I mentioned earlier about the preheat side of things, if you leave it over a lunch break, then you need to reheat it. So you want to really maintain the temperature of around, I'd say 150 degrees. So 220 max really, especially on HARDOX. You don't want to go over 220 degrees on HARDOX. Other materials you can go on a higher temperature. That we're maintaining around 150, between 150 and 200 Frank, yeah? So just keep checking it with a heat gun. As you move along whilst you're welding, the heat will stay in there, but now and again it might need just a little bit more. Workshop's a little bit loud because everyone's busy, all DTMs lads are busy. And we're going to start putting the top beam together. We've got Dean prepping a side here. Just putting a little bit of a prep on the side with the plasma, and then that will be cleaned up with a grinder, like that, as you can see. So this is the template, as they all will be made. So putting it together like this has saved a fortune in material costs, but it's added the labour bill, but it's a fraction of the cost compared to the material. So now this is the back beam. These two plates, one will go on one side of this plate and one will go on the other side of this plate. So what I want to do, I basically want to get this out in a minute. Now Cal's back, he can jump on this. We're going to tack these together and see if this hanger fits over, make sure these pressings are right. They should be, hopefully. So Reedy's just cleaning out the inside of one of the sides there. That nice prep. And before we weld that, we'll sink into that a little bit more with a grinder with a slitting disc, so the penetration gets into it a little bit more, and once again, preheat it all. Brilliant having this little crane in here from Lloyd's Field. So I just want to give them a shout out because they are a good pal of mine is Joel now. How are we getting on, Reedy, lad?
Alright, yeah. Yeah, we're getting there.
No issues?
No, nothing like that, no. Everything's alright, yeah.
So we're going to build all them now like that, are we?
Yeah, well I'm going to put this one together on here.
Yeah.
Do the same bit other side.
Yeah.
I'll probably get...
you can actually use that one. That is actually fastened to this.
Yeah, yeah, that's for that one, yeah.
You see the prep there? That prep there is because that is butted up to the edge. Are you prepping that as well?
That's prepped.
That's prepped as well. Right, so both pieces are prepped because we've got a weld going around the outside edge. Sound. Looks good. And then I'll get Cal to put that back beam together now, and then we might be able to assemble the bucket later on.
Yeah, well, I'll get these two sides tacked up.
Yeah.
And I might jump on with Cal, give him a lift.
Yeah.
And get Frank and this fellow building these up.
Yeah, that's
There's a lot of work in them.
Yeah, there is a lot of work in them, isn't there?
Yeah, more than you think for what it is.
Yeah. But again, like I say, we've jumped up on the labour side of things there, but dropped on the material side. But it'll be just as strong. Frank's just finished the edge. Now then, Frank, that is what you call extremely good. Yeah? For the amount of time that you've been here, that is extremely good work. Yeah? So you're heading in the right direction. Alright? You won't get much better than that off many men, I'm telling you now. Right, so he's also cleaned it up here for all the bars to go on. The bars are set at 3 inch, which is 75mm, so there'll be 3 inch gaps. The only thing we've got to be careful of with putting the edge on this bucket is the, I don't know what you call it now, geometry of the bucket, yeah? So when the bucket's digging in the ground, you don't want to be wearing the bottom of the tips and the bottom of the adapters away. So really, when that bucket's sat on the ground, built, them teeth need to be facing up in the air. You see at the moment, they're flat, aren't they? If you look at that tooth, it's flat. Well, when the bucket is built and sat on the ground, that tooth wants to be just kinking up a little bit. So when we fit this edge, we might have to put it on just a little bit of an angle. Yeah? Because just from past experience alone, knowing if you put it on the wrong angle, you can wear the tips of the adapters down too fast on the underside. Now then, the boys, perfect Frank, perfect. The boys are just on with the back beam. So Cal and Reedy, that is. Once that goes together, we can start putting the bucket together itself. We can put the hangers on that, get the hangers all mounted to that before we, you see there were 75mm gaps, and it all interlocks. This is going to be one strong bucket, I'm telling you now. Director. Dean, how we doing with them, lad? Let's have a look. So these are the bosses. Probably need a bit more out than that. Yeah, depends how many runs we put on the pin. Right, so we would only be allowed to put 1 run on the pin for that to allow to go over the weld. Are you with me? So we probably need just that little bit more out of them, if I'm being honest. Cal, how many runs do you want to put on it? 5 hurt. I'll ring you back in a minute.
We haven't put 1 or a 3. I think we put a 3 on inside, and then we could put, I don't know, maybe 5. Well, it'd be 6, won't it? Yeah, if we put 3 on the inside at pin against the hanger, and then I don't know, maybe 1, 2, 3.
We really want to be putting 3 runs from the pin to the hanger. Yeah. This over the 3 runs. Yeah. And then another 3 to 6 on top of that.
6. I put 6 on it, would you?
So I'll go bigger with them, Dean. All right, pal. Good practice for your plasma, this anyway. So I'll take that.
15mm back.
Yeah, take it 15mm back. All right. Work your way around. Try and get it so your sparks are blowing off the side or something. Are they going into the plate there? Yeah. Whatever you're comfortable with. Yeah. Otherwise, if you're doing it that way, it might be sparks might be flying back at you. You want the sparks really. Even if you have to tack it to that, sparks are going down onto the floor. But whatever you're comfortable with. Frank, are you jumping on with these boys now? Yeah. Right. Cal, you get Frank on with something, yeah? I've got to go out. I'll leave the boys to it. So we're getting as much weld inside as possible. There will be 3 passes on there. There's only 1 as you can see at the moment. So there'll be 3 passes as far as we can get in with the gun on all 4 sides. So we have actually broke its back now. This is the backbone of the actual bucket, if you ask me. This is where all the strength needs to be. The side goes on there, and I'll explain a little bit more about these bosses now, but it's easier to explain now we're in position. Can you see how we've prepped that? So we will fully weld around there before this actually goes on. Then we'll put the boss on, weld the boss. We'll get 3 passes around there. We'll probably get 6 around there. That's on every point where a boss lands. So as you can see, it's prepped there. And the prepped there. So we get a lot more weld on it than the average person would put on it. So this piece is actually our template that we've assembled. So every bar will get put together off that 1 bar. So that will be super strong. As the other bar goes over that, we'll probably get about 8 to 10 passes on each side of that. The edge has stayed perfectly straight. Some people say, why have you not welded that to the bucket and then welded it? Well, you need to know about heat transfer. We did do a video on that a few weeks ago. Approximately about 8 hours welding and preheating gone into this, and Frank has done a super job, I must admit. Have a close up on this welding up here, director. Many passes gone into that. I bet you lost count, Frank, how many passes went into that?
Yeah, actually, I did try keeping count, and I don't know. I reckon it's near 20.
Near 20?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But Frank, I must admit, that is very, very good for the amount of time you've been here. Frank is a qualified welder, by the way. Some people.
And engineer.
And engineer. And you got a HNC or something?
HNC and automotive engineer.
HNC as well, you know. He's a clever lad, he's there, Frankie. That's why he's picking it up so fast. Andy has started his own Instagram page, Friday Frank, and we'll put that on the screen right now. So we've just come to assemble the bucket now, and as you can see we've got the front doors going to the top of that lip there, and I'm not happy with where it's sitting on the adapter. So if you think about it, once that tooth's on there, which will be where the end of the tape measure is, look how much leverage you've got. You've got at least 500 mil, probably more, 600 mil leverage from that point there. That nose wants to be at least 60 mil further that way. Right, so we could even go past the edge, but if we put it in line with the edge, 60 mil. So that means we're going to have to notch every one of these an extra 60mm. Notch both sides, which is a bit of a pain when you start to assemble something. But if you, this is where you find problems, and it's better finding a problem now than when the bucket's ripped in half. So it's going to take us I don't know, a good hour or two in it to notch all them now. We'll start by taking this back off and sending it over there. So if you look from the side with the camera, you might get a bit of a better idea. That think of the leverage that's pulling there when it's ripping out the ground. So I'm not happy with that. We're going to move it forward, alt lock forward. Sometimes on standard cat adapters, the top bit would come further back, but even so, you want that nose as far up that adapter as possible. And moving all these forward will give it a lot more strength anyway, so we're definitely going down that road with it. So this is the side we've just notched, and if you can see how much further up the adapter that actually is compared to the one at the other side. So if you stand back here, director, with the camera looking down it, look at the difference there. Look how much more hold we've got on this edge now than that at that side. So we're just taking an extra half hour out of our time will make this bucket so much stronger, believe me. So I'm happy with that. And when you're starting a bucket, putting it together, you need a good big heavy square like this. Square it up both ways, that way and that way. And then when you get it all together, that's where you get your chain blocks on it, if it needs a little bit of tinkering here and there. So we're going to pull that side off now, notch that one out, and we're notching all the radius parts. It's these little details that make the big differences at the end of the day, further down the line in years to come with this bucket. All ready? I'll just put the top beam in. See how we've got like a bit of a 10mm gap there now. That's because the whole bucket is leaning that way a little bit. We've got chain block on here now. We're going to pull it back square. That gap should pull up nice and on it. That top pin needs to be level with that front edge. And everywhere you look at it needs to be square like by there, Cal. Let me have a look. I'll get tape out, check it out. So 1980 plus 100 at that end, so cals plus 100. Go back up to the top cal. Bang on, 1980. Yeah. Are we clear all round now? Let's tack it up. Now that is what you call perfection when it comes to a Riddle bucket. And I'd like to give a big shout out here to Chris Bedard at John Moore's, who supplied me the material. He profiled it all. Perfect, Chris. Only that small issue, but that wasn't your fault. Just want that to be on the adapters a little bit more. And the reason why it came like that is because we weren't too sure what adapters we were going to put on it, and that's why they came with them noses going to that edge. So you pay that little bit extra, I must admit, you pay that little bit extra, but you get that extra bit of quality, or should I say a lot more quality. Looks like it's been plasmed with the HD plasma. Not sure what machines they've got down there, but I'm impressed with that, how it's gone together. Really impressed with it. Now we're going to put stitches all over it, like little inch stitches all over it, loads of preheat, and then we're going to attack it with guns.
You're still here. One more breath, one more round. You come too far to back down now. Dig deep, stand tall. No fear, no mercy. This is the grind, this is the moment. Showing what you're made of.
So 3 rolls of wiring now. That's including welding the adapters onto the edge. So just looking where we're going to put the little branding plate, which probably will go there. The WF there. And then I really want that going over that pin. Because they're not removable pins, we might as well make a new one of them that's profiled to go around that boss and back to the bucket. But we also want one on the inside of the bucket, like that, at both sides. As you can see, there's one at the bottom, but I want one going over the top pin. So we'll reprofile 2 more of them. We've got Andy's company's nameplate laser cut out, and that will go there. We'll just have to trim it down a little bit to get that welding in. We've got the WF-02, that will go there, and we'll put another Andy Wallace split there. There'll be the finishing touches towards the end. I'm still not sure on the painting side yet whether we're going to paint it a colour and paint the teeth a different colour, or we're just going to lacquer it. I personally think it'll look pretty cool just lacquered, cleaned up, buffed up, wire brushed up and lacquered. But obviously it's all down to the customer, that what Andy wants. So basically I'm going to send him some pictures when it's done and say, do you want me to clean this up and lacquer it, or do you want it cleaning up and painting a certain colour for the Hyundai? Let me know in the comments, because it won't be painted, or it might be painted when this video comes out, but it might not be painted when this video comes out. So the main man's just turned up. Last week's star, aren't you, Rubo? Huh? Did you like being on video last week? Yeah? There was a lot of comments in last week's video about Ruben starting his own channel, and I think that is a brilliant idea if you're a child with knowledge like he's got. How old are you, Ruben?
10, nearly 11.
10, nearly 11. So you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel? Good lad, that's what you want to do. What do you think of our bucket?
It looks really good and strong, and I would love to use it on a digger.
You'd love to use it on a digger?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind using it on a digger as well. So the bucket is about 90-95% complete. We've just got a bit of welding to finish off. a lot of cleaning up to do, and we've still not decided if it's going to be painted or lacquered. It is a serious breakout bucket. I mean, the breakout force on that will be immense, you know, for a Riddle bucket. It is a one-off. It's custom built specifically for Andy Wallace. So I'd like to say a massive thanks to Andy for pushing HES to put the order in to me to build this bucket for you. So I appreciate that. And I'd like to say a massive thanks to HES Enterprises as well for giving me the order on the bucket. Check that out in the background. A nice fancy staircase there being built. That will be in next week's Chronicle. So I'd like to say a big thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy these videos that we put out each week. Ruben, you will be starting your own YouTube channel soon because I'll give you a lift doing it. Yeah? Yeah. Does that sound like a plan? And are you going to come and do a day's work with us? Yeah. Yeah. Director, will you help him with editing? Yeah. That's the ingredients that you need. The director on your side. All right. So a massive thanks for watching. Hope you like what we put out each week for you. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Cheers. We'll catch you on the next one.